In this video, you'll learn the 9 most common mistakes you need to avoid when making your explainer video. So, if you want your explainer video to be a super success, this video is for you. But first, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when we post new videos that will help you grow your business. Let's get started. Number 1, making your explainer video too long. When it comes to your explainer video, one of the absolute worst things you can do is overload your audience with information, throwing more details at them than they can handle. In general, you should avoid making your explainer video longer than 2 minutes. If you can do it in 90 seconds, great. But if you can bring it down to 60, jackpot. A good way to approach your video is to imagine it as an elevator pitch. Think, you've only got between the 1st and 6th floor to talk to some head honcho about your life-changing product. How do you sell it? Okay, so let's move on to the second common mistake. Number 2, playing it too safe. Every day, marketers fall into the trap of hedging their bets when it comes to producing content, using the logic, well, if we're selling to serious professionals, they'll want serious content, right? Wrong. Because in the end, the result is usually a very dull explainer video that fails to cut through the noise. Your video needs to be memorable, and to be memorable, your explainer video needs to be snappy, attention-grabbing, and oozing personality. Don't be afraid to let your business's inner self shine through. If you want to be funny, crack a joke. If you want to be relatable, make sure your language is conversational. Having character will make you approachable. Fortune favors the bold. And while you're doing that, make sure you don't forget number 3, talking excessively about features without talking about the benefits. When showing off your new product, it's all too easy to focus on all the fancy features while neglecting to mention how your audience will actually benefit. Let's say you're advertising accounting software for a small business. Instead of just saying, this software has a multifunctional secure cloud storage facility to store and retrieve your data, you could say, this bad boy saves you time by putting everything safely in one place. You can then go a step further by touching on the meaning of that benefit, tapping into the audience's emotions by saying something like, spend more time doing what matters and less time worrying, happy in the knowledge that your data is in safe hands. And while we're talking about emotions, don't forget about number 4, not hooking your audience immediately. Take a look at this graph. You see, the sharpest drop-off for an explainer video occurs within the first 5 to 10 seconds of your video, giving you a tiny window to convince your audience to keep watching. That's why you have to hook your audience right from the first sentence. You can do this with a question, a bold statement, or by telling your audience exactly what they will get from watching your video. Let's say you're promoting cybersecurity software. Compare these 2 hooks. Are you protecting your business against cyber attacks? Sounds pretty standard, right? But how about something like, right now you could be opening the door to a potential cyber attack that could cripple your business. You see how this hook is much more likely to keep the audience watching. Once the hooks are out of the way, be sure to watch out for the 5th pitfall. Number 5, overlooking the script structure. When it comes to having a successful explainer video, everything falls upon the script. So it's best to consider using a proven script structure over a hit and miss approach. Luckily for you, there just so happens to be a number of proven explainer video script structures you can use. Firstly, there's the Pain Point Resolution Script Framework, which, as the name suggests, drills into your audience's pain points before showcasing how your offering can cure what ails them. Then there's the 2 Parallel Live Script Framework. This is one of my personal favorites. In this script, you basically tell 2 stories, one of a person's life without your offering and one of life with it. The sharp contrast between the 2 lives really helps drive home the benefits of your offering without appearing salesy. And then there's the Imagine Script Framework. This framework gets your audience to imagine their perfect life before detailing how your offering can make that a reality. To find out more about these explainer video script structures, watch our video on script structures where we discuss them in detail. I've included the link for this video in the description below. This leads us quite nicely to number 6, too many messages. All too often, we've seen people trying to make their explainer video serve multiple purposes, thinking this will get them the most bang for their buck, but audiences simply don't work that way. Multiple messages are like throwing a bucket of tennis balls at someone and yelling, catch! It's just too overwhelming, and in the end, they'll end up with their hands empty. A good explainer video needs to focus on a single goal, introducing a business or a key message. Then follow that up with a single call to action so it's clear what you want your audience to do next. Don't worry about the other stuff you want to include, as there will always be room for other videos down the line where you can get your other messages across with greater effect. With the script in place and the messaging sound, it's time to think about the next common mistake when bringing your explainer video to life. Number 7, having a non-professional voiceover. Your voiceover has a massive impact on how your message is received by your audience. That's why the voiceover in your explainer video needs to be bang on to be successful. Professional voiceover artists are not as pricey as you might think. In fact, they're pretty affordable. And they're easy enough to find on sites like Mandy, Fiverr, Voice Archive, and loads more. Just make sure that the artist you choose matches the demographic of your target audience. Moving on to the next issue, number 8, overspending on art style. Of course, when it comes to choosing an art style, we all want the very best. However, you don't need a Hollywood budget for your explainer video to stand out. Big budget animation and graphics don't always make much sense financially, and they can also be expensive to update if you want to alter your video in the future. Ultimately, your goal is to get a good return on your investment. Focus more on writing a fantastic script and a good quality production without overdoing it. You have that, and you're golden. Now, time for our final common problem. Number 9, neglecting the landing page and thumbnail. Think, what's the first thing people see when noticing your video? It's not the video, but the landing page and thumbnail on which it appears. A common mistake many people make is putting a huge amount of effort into their explainer video, but then not giving the same amount of attention to these very important elements. This is a big no-no, as both the landing page and thumbnail are critical for the success of your video. Be sure to put your video at the top of your landing page so that it's the first thing your audience sees, and make sure you have a thumbnail that's sure to turn heads. Oh, and don't forget to make sure your call to action is nice and bold, leaving your audience in no doubt of what they should do next. If you want to learn more about how to create the perfect landing pages and thumbnails for your videos, then check out our videos on these topics. I've included the links in the description below. And that's it, folks. Now you know what common pitfalls to avoid when creating your explainer video. And if you're looking for more help in creating your explainer video, then feel free to get in touch with our agency. And don't hesitate to share this video, like and subscribe. As for me, I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later.